Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Fruit Bowl podcast. I'm here with my roommate Leo.
Hey, what's up? Can you tell we've never done this before?
Can you tell we're awkward?
Buckle your seatbelts.
So for my remediation project, I am remediating my iSearch. And my iSearch question was, what was my iSearch question? Is college/university necessary for me if I want to become an author or a writer? So Leo's here because he's he waved and there's nothing there.
I forgot. I don't know.
Because he is an artiste. So we're in the same boat.
Yeah.
Of college
we don't know whether it's worth it to be here.
Yeah. So we're just gonna talk about that for 15 minutes. We're gonna serenade you.
Oh, God.
With
Don't say that.
with our whatever is going on.
Good transition.
Yeah. I'm really good at transitions. Look at my papers. Next, beginning, middle, end. Solid. Anyway,
This is horrible.
I know.
This is horrible. Oh, God.
So basically in my paper, I was saying that there are plenty of cases of authors who haven't gone to university, like Maya Angelou and Mark Twain and J.D. Salinger and people like that. There's plenty of artists as well who have. I'm trying to incorporate you into this.
I didn't come prepared, so no names for me.
Didn't do my research.
Yeah, sorry.
But my argument for that was they grew up in a time where college wasn't a necessity, versus now it very much feels like a necessity. Like you need to work, you need to get a degree to work at Walgreens or to work at McDonald's. So that, for me, is like one of the reasons that I'm continuing, or I'm choosing to continue my college education. Because even if I don't, like, even if I don't end up as a writer, I'm gonna need a degree of some sort to make it. You know. Do you have anything to say on that?
You were just going off. I was like, oh, yeah.
Oh shit.
I mean, for me, it's like, because you can be, like, you can do your own thing. You can go off and just freelance, work on the side, have income coming in through like commissions and work that you can find through there. But I mean, it is difficult to get into like the industry or higher positions if you're not, I guess, I wouldn't say putting yourself out there, because you can do that in other ways. But if you don't have the connections that you would make like through school, because that's a very big emphasis, I know, in the classes that I'm taking, it's harder to know people who know people, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's harder to climb that ladder and get, your name around to the people who probably need to hear it. But I don't know, it's also that thing where it's like, I feel like writing, well, not so much writing, but writing and art, and, like the more creative things are sort of taken for granted.
Mm-hmm.
Like our type of work isn't seen as like actual jobs.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a little more difficult because it's not taken as seriously. Like obviously, I can accept that there are things that come before this, like being a doctor, or being a scientist.
That might be a little more important than you very much a little poetry.
But I mean, like, I feel like we are also important, because a lot of things that those are built on come from us, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, not everything is connected, and I guess in a lot of ways we're not like, oh, without us, you would have nothing. you
Yeah.
know? But it's, I feel like art and writing are very essential to everything staying on track or keep like to keep going, you know.
That reminds me of in Dead Poet Society. It all comes back to Dead Poet Society, baby.
It comes full circle. Here we go, boys.
Where he says, words and ideas can't change the world. And then he says, um, we read and write poetry because we're members of the human race. I don't know. That just made me, what you were talking about made me think of that. So I
Yeah.
was like, it's like what we're built on almost.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you don't see like cave paintings of doctors, you know? A cave man with a stethoscope.
Yeah, it's just, I feel like in a way these careers can go without, but again, it's very hard for you to get noticed, or probably for it to, or you to have the tools to really do what you want or get where you need or really take off, as opposed to just not having those like at all.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
It's a good time. I love being creative.
I do.
I hate this. I know why I'm here. What was our next point? Yes. What?
Change the slide, please.
Next slide. What do I say? And then we've kind of talked about it before. I feel like maybe I talked in my head. And
We've
I
had
was like,
many conversations. So
crazy how that happens.
Oh,
Crazy how
God.
you talk to your roommate. But we've talked about not wanting to drop out just because this is what we have been raised to do almost.
yeah.
Like this is I don't want to say this is what we were bred for, like
Oh.
horses, but
Jesus.
we're racing horses.
Well, why did you choose that word specifically? There was so many other words that you could pick. Go off, I guess. You're the English major.
God. I don't know what I'm saying, but
Well, I mean, on that note, it's like, even as an artist, I feel like everyone around me has always, I feel like my case has been the opposite of everything that you see in like media and like, everything that portrays an artist, where it's like, oh, they're constantly being beaten down or they're told they're never gonna make it, stuff like that.
yeah.
But I'm a lucky case because I've always been encouraged by people around me, my friends, my family, teachers, stuff like that.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna get all cheesy like, oh, they saw the passion in me and they were really pushing me to get far with it. It's just, they saw that I really like to do it, and that's something that I wanted to do. I've been doing it basically my whole life, probably like
Yeah.
almost like 17 years at this point. So, I've just been growing with it, and as I've gotten older, I've been able to do more stuff,
Mhm.
And I feel like I've just gotten more support for it. And it's weird because I get that from people who are close to me, but there's always that ever looming like stereotype or whatever where artists don't make it,
Mhm.
it's
Yes.
art isn't a real job.
Amen, bro.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I want to do this.
Yeah.
This is what I feel like I'm not what I was made to do, but
I was born to live the college life.
Yeah. I'm supposed to be doing this,
Mhm.
This is what I'm interested in. This is what I love to do. And it's weird with those background, I guess, voices being like, yeah, you're not going to make it. It's always like that little voice in the back of your head
Yeah.
telling you stuff like that. And I mean, with college, I guess it's sort of been the same case, where for as long as I can remember, my parents have always been like, yeah, get good grades, do well in school and you'll go to college. And it was always just that. It was never anything after that.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I got through elementary, I got through middle school, I got through high school, and then suddenly I'm here.
What now?
Yeah, and I don't know what to do because I've never been told anything else.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've grown up with people around me who sort of just told me what to do,
Yeah.
Like, I have to figure it out on my own, but this was what I've been told to do, so there's just nothing else.
Yeah.
And it's like, sometimes I really don't see the point of being here, but this is all I know,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. Like, this is my first year here, but at the same time, it's like, if I left, what am I supposed to do?
Exactly. I talked about it in my other 3 takes of this stupid podcast, but I was talking about how like college had been a dream of mine since I was a little kid, like since I was like 9. For some godforsaken reason, I was like, I want to go to college.
The specific age of 9 years old.
Yeah.
He's like in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
3rd, 4th grade. Jesus.
I was like, college. I wanted to go to NYU, and I ended up at NYU. Disappointed. But anyway, but yeah, like as long as I can remember, this has been like a dream of mine to be at college. So I don't know any other path to take. And I feel like, yeah, like I just,
Yeah.
and I don't want to drop out because like there's a lot of reasons, but it's like, what else am I gonna do if I drop out? Am I just gonna live at home? Am I gonna
Like, it's
work
like,
and get an apartment?
Yeah, it's like, what do you do if you don't have a plan? If you
Yes.
hadn't had a plan before, what are you gonna do when suddenly you figure out that you don't belong here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's no plan B,
Yeah.
essentially. Like
There's nothing to fall back.
Yeah, like I really like even when if I finish college. We'll start with if. Like if I don't become a writer, I don't have a backup plan for that. Like
Yeah.
I'm not like, oh well, if I can't write, I'll be a teacher, or like, oh, if I can't write, I'll work in an office.
Yeah.
Like that's my worst it's my worst fear. But yeah, like there's no plan B for dropping out of college or for even after college, which is a whole other conversation that we will have next week on the Fruit Bowl.
Come back for episode 2.
This transitions into an ad. This podcast is sponsored by Squarespace.
Raid Shadow Legends.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It goes back to always being encouraged by everyone around me. This is all I've thought to do.
Yeah.
There's no other plan other than what I want to do. And even when I've been told like, oh, even if it's not like a full-time thing, you could do art on the side. But it's like on the side of what?
Yeah.
It's so pathetic, I feel like. But like as I've gotten older, I realized I'm not really good at anything else.
I talked about that in my 3rd take because I was talking about how I wanted to have like you like come on and whatever.
Oh, what's up? Yeah.
And then I was saying, he was like, I don't know about him, but I don't have any other skill besides like writing. I don't know what else to like.
Yeah.
Because I've never had a job before, like I can't work customer service. I hate people. Like, yeah, like what do if I can't be this one thing, what else am I supposed to do?
Yeah, and it goes into that fear of like being stuck with something that you absolutely hate for the rest of your life, and you just can't get out of it for whatever reason because that's what supports you, that's what keeps you going.
Yeah.
And it's like if you quit that because you hate it, even though that's probably one of the things people tell you to do most when you absolutely despise your job, it's like, well, what do you do after that? It's like, yeah, you're job searching and you're, but it's like you don't want to do that. You want to do what you want. You want to write, you want to, make
Yeah.
art, you want to do whatever, but it's like, how do you do
Yeah.
that if that wasn't helping you before?
Yeah. I think something that it's about time in the podcast I should bring up my grandparents.
Anyway, childhood trauma moment.
Yeah. It's fine. They're the reason I hate myself. Anyway, um, not the sole reason, but a big
Yeah,
reason.
we're recording.
Damn, sorry to trauma dump on y'all. You're used to it with my OP. But what was I gonna say? Oh, because I think it's hard for them because I guess I hadn't told them that I was majoring in English with an emphasis on creative writing. I thought I had. I guess I had. But so when my parents told them that, my grandmother kind of made her oh no face, or like her scrunched up like snooty face, because I think for them you're supposed to have a work isn't supposed to be fun, if that makes sense. Like work's supposed to be work. You go work at, like, my grandma was a real estate agent. You go work at a real estate agent. My granddad was an archaeologist or something like that. Something along those lines. Like you go and you work that, and then you come home and then you have fun.
Yeah.
So I think it's even harder for that. I don't know how this relates to what you were just saying. I'm sorry, but
I mean, you transitioned into this, so then you go off. Yeah.
I was just like, my grandparents. Moving on. But yeah, like I think that's something that a lot of older people think, is that work, a career, a job isn't supposed to be something you enjoy.
It's completely separating the life from the work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you get into it because, again, it sustains you.
Yeah.
But and you can do it well.
Yeah.
But that's not supposed to be something.
It's not supposed to be something you like.
Yeah.
You enjoy.
Cool. I guess that was done.
Great, love it. We at the same time. God.
Hey,
Damn it! Something I'm gonna trauma jump on you guys once again, because that's all I know how to do.
Trauma dump take 2.
Take 3. I'm so sorry you guys had to listen to my OP. I didn't mean to cry in front of you guys. That was humiliating. Anyway, but I think one of the reasons too why I don't want to drop out is because I've told you this before. It's like, in the nicest way possible, my cousins all kind of have messed up their lives, and I don't mean that to be like I'm better than them. I've never messed up my life.
Yeah.
But like they've all done things wrong, and whereas I don't want to say I've never done anything wrong. I just haven't done it to the point they have, or I haven't done it outwardly so that my entire family knows that I messed up. So I feel like with that, they hold me on like a pedestal, and they're just waiting to kick it from under me. So I think, for me, dropping out, it would be like, that's my mess up moment. You know what I mean? And then I just be like the rest of my family. I should have mentioned that I don't like my family. So I don't want to become like them. But yeah, that's another reason why I don't want to drop out.
Yeah.
Or I feel like I can't.
Yeah. I know for me, it's going back to, that's how I've been brought up, where it was like college was the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
At least for where my life was going and where it's at right now. School's a difficult subject, I feel like, because it's like, I've always done well, A, B student.
Yeah.
Occasionally a C in like middle school, maybe.
Middle school is terrible.
That sucks.
That's gonna be on this 3rd podcast.
Oh God, we're already planning a 3rd one. Jesus. But yeah, I've always had to keep on top of that. I could never risk a C, and I know, especially being here, a C could have taken away a lot from. It could have taken away the possibility of me actually making it here. Yeah, because getting A's and B's covered my ass so well. Yeah. But I feel like the older I got, the less motivation I had to actually make it through a lot of this stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
Especially, when the pandemic hit, I know, it hurt a lot of people. And for me, it was this weird switch where I had a very set schedule and I knew what I had to do. And, it was like sort of the end of the year. I was almost done, I was going into my senior year of high school. It was like a weird time, but it was
Yeah.
also like not like a breather, but it was like, I guess, kind of a breath of fresh air, if
Yeah.
that makes sense, where it was like I was almost done, but like, oh my God, I'm almost done.
Yeah.
Um, so that hit, and that sort of hurt a lot for me because I'm used to being on a set schedule. I'm used to being either doing my stuff at school or being at home and doing, what I need to do there.
Mhm.
And I know that completely wrecked my motivation. I'm pretty sure it hurt a lot of my attention span.
Yeah.
Like I can't sit still.
Yeah.
Like
Seriously.
yeah, I used to be able to, like, pretty well, I feel like. But now I have to like fidget. I can't just sit there. Um Especially since I was just in my room for the longest time, we couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like there was limited space in the house, you know. And so it's like all that kind of messed with a lot. And I'm here, I guess that means something. But it's like I'm not doing it for me at this point. I'm doing it for my family, doing it for my parents.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's like I feel like this is what they wanted for me for the longest time, and now they have it. They
Yeah.
have it for me. And I don't want to say it's like they're living through me with things that they never did, or they never were able to.
Yeah.
Um but it sometimes it feels like that,
Yeah.
where it's like, oh, go do this thing, where I tried or I was never able to.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm getting experiences that they never had, and I don't know if that's them feeling some sort of accomplishment.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's them getting me there and me, making it through everything to get here.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm doing this kind of willingly, I signed up for everything. I went into this. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. But it's, I don't want to be all cringe and be like, oh yeah, it's really hard,
College hard.
Yeah.
But like
it's a lot different than I thought it would be,
Yeah.
especially with just the setup and like, again, like I have a schedule, but it's not really like a hard schedule, if that makes
Yeah.
sense,
Yeah. Like it
Um,
changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm used to it, but it's so different, and I feel like I'm processing it differently. And this is my first time away from home, so that's really hard.
Mhm.
Um, I'm independent without having like experience before that would have really helped
Yeah.
me here. Like I was able to do like a whole lot by myself before. I'm not trying to say like, that I was never able to do anything,
Mhm.
but it's like I was sheltered. I'm a sheltered kid.
Absolutely. That's why we get along, huh?
Yeah.
God damn it.
And suddenly I'm thrown into this thing where I'm not incredibly far from home, but I'm in this place that I've only been to once before in my life,
Yeah.
a couple months before all this started. And I'm doing my own thing. I'm not seeing the people I'm used to seeing. I'm not able to talk to a lot of the people I'm used to talking to. It's just a weird, hard switch that I just had to accept and, get adjusted to.
Yeah.
And it's like I talk to them I talk to them a lot, but I we end up in conversations where it's like, I'm sort of teetering on the edge of like being honest and just being like, yeah, it's difficult, but I'm getting through it.
Mhm.
I had a conversation yesterday with my grandpa where before I left, he was telling me, yeah, the first couple semesters are going to be really hard, but you just
First couple?
Yeah.
You mean it gets worse?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think he ever went to college. So, But yeah, it's gonna be hard for a while, but I'll eventually get used to everything and be able to like really, I guess, do something here. um, but it's just, I don't know. It's difficult, just like being moved from everything that I've ever known to something that's like I have to get through myself. And again, that sounds like pathetic, but it's like I've always had help. I've always had support. And I know everyone can't say that. And I know I probably shouldn't be taking it. I probably shouldn't be like bitching about it. But it's just for me and for my life, my perspective, it's just really different.
Yeah.
And I'm not good with change. I'm not good at adjusting
Yeah.
to change. And I guess at least with the way I do things. And so this is just hard.
You still smoke?
Oh, we're dying?
This is how the podcast ends. We just die in a fire.
Anyway, we're continuing.
Moving on. We might die. Who knows? If you're listening to this, we didn't make it.
If you find this.
Good times. I think it's been about 20 minutes, so we should
Oh God. Anyway, on that depressing ass note.
Anywho, LOL.
God, I hate
I feel like we already kind of talked about this, but like the end of my iSearch was me just saying that I'm gonna stay in college because I don't know because I don't know anything else, and also because even how do I say this? Even if I don't feel like college was the right fit for me, I still gained something from it, either an advancement in my writing or me as a person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
personal growth.
Yeah, because I feel like
I know just from the little things that we do.
Yeah.
We're
both joking about how we're always like we're growing as people, but it's true.
Yeah, but it's like genuine at this point.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing things now that I feel like I would never like at home or that I wouldn't have like on my own.
Yeah. And I think that's part of because we were just thrown into this.
Yeah.
It's like we like how you teach babies to swim. You throw them.
Yeah, you just throw them in the pool.
I'm gonna say it. You throw those motherfuckers in there, and they either gonna float or they're gonna sink.
I mean, yeah, you're right. Yeah,
and we're kind of drowning, but we're also floating.
That makes no sense, but we'll go with it.
We drowned a bit, but now we're learning to float. As cheesy as that.
Sure.
Yeah. We're learning to float.
Oh, God.
Be the captain of your own ship.
No.
But yeah, I know that for me, I'm gonna stay in college until I'm gonna stay in college unless there's a better opportunity that happens to come along, and then I'll consider dropping out. Like if for some reason I got like a book deal somehow, like I think I would consider dropping out.
We both have to develop our plots a lot more before that happens. I feel like.
Yeah. But yeah.
Hellbound's on the way, guys.
They're on the way. I think that's it.
I feel like this is good.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for watching or listening. See you next time.
I hope not.
Thank you. Goodbye.